For my presentation, I read Carnegie's chapter on taking interest in others' interests and how doing this can help create more meaningful connections, as well as enhance our relationships and reputation. In the chapter, Amy Martin, founder of Digital Royalty and one of Forbes magazine's 20 best branded women on Twitter, describes her experience at NASCAR's 2011 Daytona 500, something she originally had no interest in. Martin explains the idea that we tend to dislike what we do not know, and sets out to try to understand all of the hype surrounding this event. After attending the Daytona 500, she quickly realizes why so many people are attracted to it. NASCAR creates an amazing experience for their fans by ultimately putting them first. The fans are welcomed onto the track to leave their mark by signing it. They are granted access, a term that Martin later pins as crucial, to go anywhere during the race. They are included and interacted with in such a way that leaves them with a lasting positive impression. Now back to the term access. With access, you can create a connection. A connection can turn into a relationship. The relationship can lead to affinity, which is an even stronger relationship such as marriage. This then leads to influence and finally conversion. At this event, the fans are granted access to a space where they can make connections and relationships with those around them. This leads to an affinity with the brand, ultimately influencing them to buy whatever they are selling, conversion. Now, how do we do this in our day-to-day life? In the chapter, Carnegie mentions a human equation, which he defines as combining self-interest with selflessness. This equation requires one end to be selfless and ask questions about another, and requires the other to be self-interested enough to respond. Some examples of how an imbalance in this equation can have a negative impact are a pro athlete taking performance drugs and not thinking about the impact on his or her teammates, future, or team. Or a husband or father having an affair is only thinking about his benefit and not the hurt that he will cause his family. The idea is not to drop one over the other, but to know how to use both to show you care while also presenting your worth. Some ways you can do this in your daily life are to respond to those who take an interest in you. Reply to comments, questions, and compliments. Return that back to them. Compliment them. Comment on their things in question. Ask questions about them. Learn about others' interests and find ways to relate. Use social media. 5 minutes on someone's page can tell you a lot about them. Maybe they just lost a loved one. Maybe they're an animal lover too. Or maybe you have a mutual friend. These types of things can explain behavior and offer more talking points to generate a connection. Finally, ask about them. People generally like to talk about themselves, so asking is a direct route to more meaningful connection. It shows you care, making you a trustworthy person in their life. Next, I have an example from the show Friends, where Rachel Green is using some of their techniques to try and make the best of her blind date.
Everything looks so good. I think I'm gonna have the chicken.
I just have to say this. You're really beautiful.
Oh, wow, that's very sweet. Thank you.
I'm kind of funny looking.
What?
Well, I mean, come on, you're way out of my league. Everybody in here knows it. That guy over there is probably saying, "Ooh, I shot with him. He must be rich." Well, I'm not.
So what do you think you want to order? I'm real excited about that chicken.
I'm not funny either. So if you were thinking, well, he's not that good looking, but maybe we'll have some laughs. That ain't gonna happen.
Well, come on, Steve. Let's not rule out nervous laughter. Hey, now, wait a minute. Phoebe told me that you owned your own restaurant. That's impressive.
I lost it to drugs. I silkscreen t-shirts now.
Really? What's that like?
It's really fulfilling doing something you hate for no money. That's right. I have no money. I'm not funny. I live in a studio apartment with 2 other guys. And I'm pretty sure I'm infertile.
Now, come on, Steve. That must be something that you like about yourself.
I do like my hair.
Really?
So as you can see, Rachel was desperately trying to uplift and guide the conversation to a meaningful and positive connection by asking about him, using direct questions and acquired information. While he is clearly failing to follow through with this exchange and ruins his chance at having a connection or a relationship with Rachel. Now, I'm sure we all can name a friend or someone we know who simply cannot shut up about themselves. And how do we feel about those people? Do we think they care about us? Do we trust them? Do we go to them for comfort or advice? Chances are the answer is no. We typically gravitate towards those who ask, "How are you doing? Where are you from?" Because it shows they care about what you have to say and that they are genuinely interested. This is someone who will listen and value you rather than making you feel ignored. They will become someone you trust and will go to for guidance. I'm sure we all have these friends too, and if not, I encourage you to be the first to do these things and make them. The benefits of taking interest in other interests are that you can find out more about someone. There is an opportunity to discover mutual friends and interests. This can help you solve problems of your own or somebody else's. It can increase trust and influence, and it creates a deeper and more meaningful connection. Finally, I would like to leave you with 2 things. To be aware of where you gravitate to and why. It will most likely be to where you are valued and what you like and trust the most. And second, practice returning that. With everything going on currently, it can be hard not to focus on yourself, which isn't always wrong, but challenge yourself to set aside your interests and focus on someone else's. Not only will your relationship with that person flourish, but your reputation as a trustworthy and influential person will too.